By the early 90s, The Howard Stern Show became a juggernaut, simulcast across the country and drawing millions of dedicated listeners. Stern was a bona fide superstar and part of the lexicon of American culture. Every morning, The Stern Show drew back the curtain and invited you into their dysfunctional workplace, giving America a daily reality-based soap opera that included arguing, fighting, and locker room caliber ball busting. It was authentic, honest comedy, and audiences ate it up. Gary was a regular victim of the abuse, relentlessly teased about his teeth, his breath, or even the slightest organizational oversight. During one particular moment of confusion, Gary inadvertently coined another term that was indoctrinated into the American vernacular: Baba Booey.
I was collecting animation art. There was a character called Quick Draw McGraw and Baba Louie that I used to watch from growing up.
Hello, Quick Draw, you fearless old bandit chaser, you.
Hello there, partner.
And here we see the Naugahyde Kid's secret hideout, where Quick Draw's sidekick, Baba Louie, is being held prisoner by the Kid. Say, Baba Louie.
See, you speaking?
How's the Kid treating you?
He's not too bad.
Howard said to me on there one day, "What are you going to get?" I said, "I'm going to get a Quick Draw to Baba Booey." And he's like, "What?" I'm like, "A Baba Booey." And I think that what had happened was I probably had talked about that during the break, and Jackie probably said, when I walked out of the room, he's not even saying the fucking name right. When I came back in, they did this whole thing on the air, and crap like that happens all the time. People ask me all the time, did you know that it was going to have the longevity? Of course not. And my classic line was at 8:30 when they were teasing me. I was like, all right, guys, this will be over in a couple of days. The joke's gone on long enough.
Stern's genius lies in his ability to turn what seems to be a simple case of mistaken identity into a cultural phenomenon. Suddenly, Baba Booey was everywhere.
Too much monkey business. Too much monkey business.
It has so many different meanings. It's a battle cry. You call up Larry King and you go, Baba Booey, and Larry King wouldn't know what that means, but all the Stern fans know what it means. It's almost like a secret handshake.
Today's top story, crews have now pinpointed the cause.
I was just sleeping in my room. My roommate just ran in the room, burst open the door. He's like, Baba Booey, Baba Booey, Baba Booey.
It's a fun word. It's alliterative. That's a hard word for me. It's a word that kids think are funny. I can't tell you how many people send me tapes or letters saying like it's the first word my kid ever said, because it is like a childish word. My old general manager taught his parrot how to say it, and then it started turning up on Letterman and on 30 Rock.
You know about it? How come I've never been invited? Don't you think that's a little bit rude?
Well, I yelled Baba Booey at Walter Cronkite's funeral, so I actually have no idea of what's rude or not.
I embraced it pretty quickly. I'd been doing autograph signings and my lines were waning. And then all of a sudden the Baba Booey thing sort of gave me a resurgence. So all of a sudden we're going to see Baba Booey. So it made it sound way better than we're going to see Gary. So I like it. I was with my son. He was like 3.5 years old. We were on my way to Texas to see my brother. I guess my son had heard the word Baba Booey, but probably didn't know what it meant. Probably just heard it around the house or whatever. This guy just walks to the airport and he goes, "Hey, Baba Booey." And I go, "Hey, man, what's up?" And my son just started laughing. I go, "What's so funny?" He goes, "That guy thinks you're Baba Booey."
During the 90s, Dell'Abate's professional life was a 9, but with the breakup of the E Street Band, life as a Springsteen fan was a 2. Fortunately, by the end of the decade, Springsteen reunited the band for their first tour in 10 years. The boss was also inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Gary scored a single ticket to the induction ceremony.
I get to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, which is at the Waldorf. I have this crappy seat all the way like up in the second balcony. And I go downstairs during the break and I run into a record company friend of mine and he's like, "Where you sitting?" I'm like, "I'm all the way in the shitty seats." And he goes, "We have a table on the floor and nobody's sitting at it. It's like a 10-seater and there's only like 5 of us at it." So I went down with him and I sat down, and then the second part of the show starts and the lights go down and I see out of the left corner of my eye, I see Bruce and Patty and the kids and the little usher with a flashlight. So they start walking directly towards me. And I say, "This is great, Bruce is gonna walk right by me." And then Bruce gets like right in front of me and then he sits directly in front of me. Like I could have put my hand on Bruce's shoulder. Clarence was there and Max was there and the whole gang was there. Now I can't even concentrate on the award show. All I'm doing is looking at Bruce. I'm looking at his every move. And he's got this yellow legal pad and he's basically editing his speech. He's written on a yellow legal pad and he's like crossing it out, flipping pages, looking through again, going back, editing. And I'm thinking in my mind, well, Bruce, if you could just tear a page off and throw it on the floor, I could pick it up and have like the greatest souvenir ever. So Bruce goes up and he gives his speech and his mother was sitting at the table next to us and He dedicated the award to his mother. He came back and he gave it to his mom, and then he left. The show ended, and his mom and everybody were sitting around the table, and they were sort of passing the award around. So when it got around, it came almost in front of me, but I wasn't sitting at their table. And whoever had it, I don't know whether it was a cousin or somebody's wife or whatever, I was like, do you mind? And she goes, no. So she hands it to me. And I'm just looking at it, I'm holding it. It's a mirrory type of glass type of thing. It's got fingerprints all over it. I just wanted to hold it. And then I gave it back, and that's how I got to hold Bruce Springsteen's Rock and Roll Hall of Fame award, which is somewhere in his mother's house now.
But the stars are burning bright, like some mystery uncovered. I keep moving through the dark, within my heart, my blood runs.
When Springsteen fanatic Artie Lang joined the Stern Show family, his relentless references to Springsteen on air helped support Gary's position that Springsteen was indeed worthy of another listen from the king of all media.
When Artie got here, I felt like I had the support I'd been waiting for forever. He was such a brother in arms to sound the alarm about it, and Artie's take on it was just so great. We had a day where Artie was recreating all of Bruce's raps, nearly verbatim, and those were funny. Howard has met him recently, and I wouldn't say they're friends, but they're friendly. They see each other at parties and they talk. But even before Howard had met him, I remember Howard saying to me, like, maybe I'm missing something on this. Maybe I should go back and revisit it. He started to talk about some songs that he liked. He just said, I heard a Bruce song on the air the other day, and I liked it. It was great.
There's a unique sensibility that comes with being a Springsteen or a Stern fan. Many find themselves futilely trying to explain their obsession. This recently created clip from the site Extra Normal captures the essence of that conversation.
I'm going to see Springsteen tonight.
You're what? Seeing Bruce Springsteen? Again? Tonight?
Yes. You know that I am. And please don't give me that look.
But you just saw him. That road trip you took 3 weeks ago, for 3 shows.
Actually, it was 4 shows. But that was at the Meadowlands in Jersey. This show is in Syracuse, New York.
You mean to tell me you're driving 300 miles? Just to see Bruce Springsteen?
I'm lucky on several different counts. My wife sort of understands it. She's just sort of more perplexed than, not irritated. She's not like, I can't believe you're doing this. She's like, yeah, if you want to go have fun. Go with Ross to Toronto and to Buffalo and all that other crap. We have a few neighbors who are as rabid as I am, and a couple of them are female that are friends of my wife, so I think that helps her understand it a little bit better too. There's been a couple of interesting things even with my kids. I took them to their first concert. It was a Springsteen concert. We went to see Bruce at Shea Stadium. And I would talk about Bruce a lot at the table, and my younger son said to me, which I don't know whether this is bad parenting or not, but he goes, Dad, I feel like we talk about Bruce so much, I feel like he's part of our family.